How's it going?
How you doing? Good, man. How you doing?
Oh man, there's just so much metal going on. It's awesome.
Dude, like, you are metal. I mean, straight up, like, seriously, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, how you do it all, because you're involved in all these projects, and it's just non-stop.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be, just cage only for years and years, and now I'm a heavy metal whore almost.
But does it get tough for you? I mean, Cage is the one you've been with the longest. That's got to be like your baby. And now you have all these other projects going on at the same time. Does it kind of get, like, overwhelming at times?
No, I mean, I just experienced my first scheduling conflict, which is a bummer, but, having to choose between two killer, festivals is a good problem to have, and it's been fun, man. Each band has kind of opened up doors for the other band, and I like the fact that the three bands that I'm in are all original bands. I'm not like the new singer of this band or that band, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not like, oh, he's the new singer for some. And I've had a lot of offers to sing in other established, metal acts that I'm a huge fan of, but for whatever reason, like I didn't want to move to wherever, or just the timing wasn't right. Besides the brief stint I did with Warrior, now I'm just in all three original bands, and I love all three of them.
That's awesome. Now, how about when it comes to writing? I mean, how do you sit down and write and figure out where that piece of music is going to go where?
Yeah, it's so far it hasn't been a problem, because when I did the Cage album, that was a gnarly concept story, the Ancient Evil album. So that was real easy to compartmentalize everything, that was tied to the story. So that was cool. And then everything else that I wrote, went into the Death Dealer. Like if it was an idea that, obviously wasn't tied to the story, that went straight to Death Dealer. And then the Denner Shermann now is all, I'm deep in the finishing up the full-length album for Denner Shermann, and that's all just like occult and frickin' scary stories and monsters and stuff. So it's real easy to being a Merciful Fate and King Diamond fan. I mean, just a huge fan before I was even contemplated as being the singer for Hank Shermann and Michael Denner. I still can't believe I'm in a band with those dudes. It's like frickin' unbelievable. But I'm like, beyond like the singing style, I think I'm like the perfect guy for them, just because of my imagination and coming from the standpoint of being a Merciful Fate and King Diamond fan, what do I want to turn over the album and look at the song titles, and what do I want to see those song titles as a fan? And with my wild imagination, I think I'm the perfect guy for the content for Denner Shermann. So far it's been pretty easy putting everything, from one band to the other.
How'd you end up hooking up with Denner and Shermann?
Well, I saw a press release, Hank Shermann and Michael Denner to do an album, with a bunch of different singers, and being the complete fanboy of everything King Diamond and Merciful Fate, I went on, I private messaged Hank on Facebook and just said, hey, my name's Sean. I sing in a band called Cage. I'm a huge fan. I would love to have the opportunity to try and sing on a song. Check me out. I'm sure you don't know who the heck I am, but, and then he hit me back and said, oh, yeah, I know who you are. Yeah, when we get closer, I'll hit you back and see, if you want to do a song. And I was just out of my mind that Hank Shermann would even answer me on a message, oh my God, I'm telling everybody,
right.
Hank Shermann got back to me, dude. I got a message from Hank Shermann. It's amazing. So I was just freaked out on that. He would even say hi to me. And then, several months later, he's like, hey, Sean, it's Hank. Are you still interested in doing a song? And then, I was like, oh my God, yes, I'm, interested is not the word. And then he goes, well, so he sent me a track which ended up becoming War Witch, and then he sent me another track. He's like, well, what about this one? And immediately I basically came up with the chorus for the title track of the EP, Satan's Tomb, and I recorded it and sent it to him. I'm like, what do you think about this idea? And I was just like on pins and needles, like, oh, what if he hates it? Like, oh, God, please. And then he hit me back. He's like, hey, do you want to do the whole EP? And I'm like, hell yeah, I want to do the whole EP. I'll do everything. So, and then the rest is history, man. We started writing and became a pretty good, writing team. And now we're, there's the full length that's coming out this summer is all new original songs. We're not like including any of the
cool.
EP. That's one thing. That was one thing, and this is like a complete full length album, and we've just started doing the real recording for it. They're all written now, and I can't wait to frickin' unleash this thing on the fans, man. I think they're gonna trip out.
Wow. Now, when you went into that, did you say to yourself at all, like, I need to kind of sing like King Diamond, but not sing like King Diamond?
There's occasional songs where I've done my full-on King Diamond impersonation. I mean, hell, I even wrote a song called King Diamond, for God's sake. So, I mean, everyone that knows me knows that I'm a complete, total influence, and I got my King Diamond impersonation down okay. But they didn't want me to do any of that stuff. They wanted me just to sound like myself. Just sing like Sean Peck. I'm like, come on, man, let me do a little bit. Let me throw in a little, let me throw in a couple king nuts. I'm like, no, just keep it like, you. And I'm like, all right. But on the full length EP, I'm happy to say that, I definitely get to do a little more of the King Diamond stuff, and which is going to make it really, really fun. So let's just I'm shrieking and wailing like all over this thing. So there's a little more of it on the full length, but just because not intentionally, just because that's just coming straight from me, just being so heavily influenced the way King Diamond does his melodies and some of the stuff that he does.
Now, I mean, that's it's like almost like that movie Rockstar, or with the Ripper Owens with Judas Priest, where it's a band that you looked up to so much, and now you're playing with two of the main guys out of the band. I mean, that's got to be, like you said, like the total fanboy moment. Like, I'd be blown away.
Yeah, Snowy Shaw on the drums too, which is cool because when Death Dealer just toured Europe, Snowy, I got to hang out with him. He came up and actually sang "Hail and Kill" with us on stage, which was really fun. So, yeah, he's a legend on drums. And Mark Grabowski is pretty well known as the bass player. And we went around the NAMM show a couple of weeks ago, and he was pretty well known in the music industry. So that was cool. We got the two of us, and I went and sang, we did 3 songs together in Israel, me, Hank Shermann, and Michael Denner at the Titans of Metal show, which was amazing. We did 2 Merciful Fate songs and then Paranoid by Black Sabbath of all things. And that's a story in itself, man. No practice, nothing. Their flight got delayed. They showed up like an hour before we were supposed to go on. Like, hey, this is our first band meeting. Like, ready? Here we go, 1,000 people. Fucking dun 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 dun. It was just like trial by fire. It's pretty funny. So, yeah, I've got to perform, a little bit with them, but now we're getting ready to play some live shows and book some tours, and that's going to be just magic.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Now, are you guys going to be doing the States, do you think, or just over in Europe, or?
No, the States are, it's a big priority for Hank and Michael is, the United States. That's where their biggest fan base is, I guess, according to them, is, in the U.S. So U.S. is a big priority for them. And, we're planning East Coast, Midwest, and West Coast. And so it'll be cool to see, what songs we choose. We're definitely going to play a few Merciful Fate songs. So, and then, our original stuff is, I think, going to be is going to sound killer live too. So it's exciting, man.
Cool, very cool. Now, how about you had mentioned earlier with Cage? Now, with the latest album that you guys did, you wrote a book to go along with the album?
Yeah, it's just weird how everything happens. I mean, I got hit up by some ex-King Diamond members to do a record, and I had initially turned my friend, the singer, onto it, and they're like, yeah, he's cool, but, what would you be interested in, This was before the whole Denner Shermann thing was even anything, and I'm like, yeah. So I started writing this concept kind of story for that, and then those guys kind of flaked out, and I was left with the story. I'm like, man, this is too cool for them anyways, man. I need to take this to Cage. So I brought it to the guys, and I'm like, what do you guys think about this? And they're like, oh, yeah, let's do it. And, I've always wanted to do a horror concept album, like a Abigail or a Them. We did the Hell Destroyer concept, which was one of our most successful records that we ever did. And so, I just kept writing the story and writing it and filling in the blanks and filling in the blanks. Next thing you knew, I had a 150-page, paperback book. We're selling it at the shows, and it's cool because, I put it on the merch table, and I thought people were like, but actually it's selling really well when we go to the show, so it's cool that the book is selling, and, the concept album, and, we always like to innovate in the idea department, man, because if you make heavy metal too innovative, it loses, the soul of what heavy metal music is, so we try to innovate in the ideas and okay, who else has put together a paperback book, an audio book version, an ebook version of it? The music video we did for Across the Sea of Madness is almost looks like a movie. It looks like we wrote a song for the movie Ancient Evil. So that came out. People listening, you haven't seen the Cage Across the Sea of Madness video, definitely go check that out. It's killer. And I thought the Ancient Evil album was going to take more kind of getting used to, it'd be like a grow on you type of thing. But I was completely wrong, man. People just took to it right away, and the songs were able to stand alone on their own enough, and it made the top 15 in the Amazon hard rock charts, and people that haven't got it yet, pick it up on Amazon, and it's 78 minutes. It's like a double album, so you're definitely getting your money's worth.
Oh, cool. Now, do you think you're going to do that concept more in the future, with writing a book along with doing the album?
Well, it's fun. I wrote another story, which is called Seven Skulls, and that's actually the fourth song on the Denner Shermann EP. And I had a complete book cover, painted for it, and it looked really, really killer. And I was going to release that as my second book. And it looked so killer that we ended up using that for the Death Dealer album cover, Olive Ground.
Oh, cool.
Because the label did not like the album cover that we had, done for it. And we were all sitting around a table we've got one day to turn in the final album cover. What are we going to do? And everyone's it's just 12 people panicking, talking back and forth. Maybe we could do this. And I'm just staring at this image on my phone while everyone's talking over me, oh. And I'm like, guys, what about this? And I showed it to them, and everyone's like, oh my God, we got to have that. I'm like, So I had to sacrifice my book cover for the damn Death Dealer album cover for Hollow Ground. But that's what you do. You make sacrifices for each other. But yeah, so I've already written another book and started it, and it's a killer story too. So I'll probably put that one out. It's definitely been writing a lot of fiction. I've moved more into these, all the songs are real fiction tales, especially the Denner Shermann. I mean, every one of the songs we got on this is some kind of creative, scary story, and they're all coming out good, man. So I'm, the idea machine in the Sean Peck brain is definitely on a high productivity level. So who knows?
Yeah, you've added more. Like I said in the beginning, how do you find the time to do 3 bands? But on top of it all, you're writing books.
Yeah, the books take a long time, man. Because I started another one. I have this other killer idea, and it's it's kind of like a metal band, and then it gets like deep into the occult, and it's a great story. And I started writing it, and I was about 20 pages in. I'm like, this is going to take forever for me to finish this thing. So I'm like, I got to put this on the shelf, man. I'll get back to this some other day. I can't spend frickin' 5 months writing this book. I mean, good Lord. So. I got another screenplay that I wrote that is just I'm so freaking in love with. It's like a kind of a post-apocalyptic alien invasion thing with a insane twist that's never been done before, and I'm like, God, I got to get that in the book form too. I mean, that's killer. So yeah, I mean, I'm full of ideas, but right now, the main thing is, I've released 3 albums last year and probably another 3 this year. So I got a lot of music to do, so it's the book writing's definitely on the back burner.
Now, again, we talked about playing with legends like Denner and Shermann, but your other band, Death Dealer, you're doing the same thing there with Ross the Boss.
Yeah, man. Well, that was cool too because Ross was out in Israel too at the Metal Titans, so I got to sing more songs than any other of the singers that were out there. There were some big names out there. I got to do 3 with Hank and Michael and 2 with Ross because we did Hail and Kill and Kings of Metal, which they threw at me in the last minute like, hey, do you know Kings of Metal? I'm like, no. Like, do you want to sing it in a half an hour from now? I'm like, okay. But me and Ross, we've been on big stages for a long time together now, so that was cool. It was like, no problem being with him. But yeah, it's, the Death Dealer thing started as a funny kind of joke idea, and then we called everybody, like, Stu called me up, we need to make a band called Death Dealer. And then we're like, okay, well, let's get some famous dudes in it, and it'll be great. And we were just joking around and like, you know what, screw it, let me call Ross. I've never met him before. Let me call him up. Hey, Ross, my name's Sean. Do you want to be in my band? Yeah, okay. I'm like, oh, shit, this guy's serious. So then I called back Stu. I'm like, we got a band now, dude. What do we do? So that's kind of like how it happened. And, the second tour we did was an arena tour, which was incredible, flying from city to city, playing huge arenas. So we, jumped to the front of the line with Death Dealer, and the first 2 albums we've done were fantastic. I mean, I love both those records. People listening, if you don't have the War Master album, Follow the Ground album, you can go to deathdealer.co, or Amazon's got them, and they're both just I'll put the straight ahead heavy metal records. I'll put those 2 records up against anything. And yeah, it's been great. Then Mike Davis, who's playing in Halford, Lizzie Borden, and then we have Rhinos, the drummer first, and then now Steve Bolognese from Into Eternity and a bunch of other bands that he's in. And then Stu Marshall, from Australia, who's making quite a name for himself. It's always fun when we get that band together, man. It's just like there's something about walking out on stage with all those dudes. It's just like, each guy could be the leader of their own band, and
right.
We got just this confidence when we get out on the stage. It's just weird, man. We don't really get to practice much. I was telling the story. The first show of that arena tour was in Bulgaria, 4,000 people, giant arena. We never even practiced with the drummer before. We just walked up there. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Just no practice arena shit. So Death Dealer's been fun, and we're gonna try and get the 3rd album out this year. We've already started working on it.
Now, if people they need to go onto the website for Death Dealer, and there's a video there. You guys did a Christmas song, which was the We Three Kings song, which was incredible.
Thanks, dude.
I was not expecting that at all. When I saw, I'm like, okay, and then I couldn't play it. I'm listening. I'm like, holy shit! Like, this is incredible.
Yeah, so many Christmas, people do these metal versions of Christmas songs, and they're just like, they're never really metal or, anything off the track where it's like, oh, that's badass. But yeah, Stu, did the majority of the composition on that, and then I just threw in some screams on top of it. And then, the video guy just did an incredible video for it. I mean, when I saw that, I was just like, this is sick. So as far as Christmas songs, I mean, I'll put that up against any metalized version of any Christmas song. And then I've also sang just kind of an acoustic version of What Child Is This, which is one of my favorite Christmas songs, which is pretty cool. I'm like, God, I only need like 4 or 5 more Christmas songs, and I got a Sean Peck Christmas album, for God's sake. So who knows, man? If I wasn't in a metal band, I would probably be going door to door caroling and shit like that. So
that's funny. Next thing you know, you'll be writing a Christmas song.
Like that. Yeah, and I can write look at Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Look at what Sabotage did. I mean, Jesus.
Right. So, all right. Also, you guys were on the Motorhead motorboat cruise last year. So you got to, be there towards the end of God himself, Mr. Lemmy Kilmister. Yeah, that was an incredible, the boat was so much fun. It was the first, metal cruise that I had done. I always wanted to do one, so we were stoked. We want to thank our label, SMG Records, for getting us on that. And we have an incredible label with supporting both Cage and Death Dealer. So everybody listening, go to SMG, Swedish music group. They're like, as far as being an artist, it's like the best label you could ever hope to be on, man. They're just so supportive. Like, they're supporting us like it was like 1980 record label situation, which is really cool. But yeah, I got to meet Lemmy briefly in the casino, so we were kindred spirits for loving casinos, and said hi to him and introduced myself, which was cool. Nice.
But then also Cage, we just did the Metal Allegiance run on the West Coast, and the Saturday show at the Whiskey was the Lemmy celebration show, which we played before the Metal Allegiance group. So we were like right in the heart of that whole thing, and I gave a real cool Lemmy speech that went over real well.
Nice.
And it was sold out, and we're backstage with Dave Grohl and Corey Taylor and frickin' Mickey D and just like all these dudes. And so that was like, that was a show, we'll never forget. So, yeah, it was weird how, we were on the boat, meeting them, and then we were, had that show already booked, and then it became the Lemmy tribute show. So it was weird how things happen.
Right. Wow. So, all right, so 2016's upon us, and you're looking to put out 3 more albums this year.
Well, the Dennis Shermann is definitely coming out. That's coming out this summer. Cage is already halfway done with what we're calling Project Number 1. We're doing something that it may not come out under the Cage name, but it's Cage writing and recording the entire record. But there's something really unique about what we're doing, which I cannot reveal yet. But when the press comes out on this record, people are going to be going, holy shit. So, again, we're trying to innovate in the idea department, and this is one of those innovations. And it's nothing like necessarily about the music. It's going to be straight ahead heavy metal record like we always do. But there's some other components involved in it which are going to make it incredible. So we're just we're forging that right now, and hopefully that'll come out by the end of the year. And then once that's done, then we've already started on the Death Dealer record. We got pretty much one complete new song and like 20 different, pieces that we've been working with. So, but I just have to finish up the Dennis Shermann, then I got to finish up this Cage record, and then I can fully focus on that. So hoping to get all 3 out this year. With my work ethic, we should make it. Dennis Shermann out in summer, and probably the other two releases out towards the end of the year.
And it looks like Dennis Shermann is the one you'll be touring with this year, or possibly doing shows with all 3? Or
yeah, we're doing. Cage has got a Euro run planned. We're also going to be doing the Midwest. We're probably going to go back out to the East Coast again because we had a real good run out there. and then Denner Shermann, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, Europe, maybe South America. Death Dealer's going to Australia in June, and then probably Europe towards the end of the year. So I got to figure out how I'm going to. Luckily, with my real job, I can do it just over the phone. So whenever I'm touring and stuff, I'm always on top of my my real estate activities, keeping the empire thriving while I'm dressed in black leather before the show. So yeah, it's real fortunate that that now that the touring is going to be massive this year, that I'm able to keep everything rolling on the other end of it. But the all three bands are just getting better and better, and garnering a bigger and bigger fan base, and really excited about 2016, man. Got to make sure I keep my cardio up for all these freaking shows we're doing, because I like to run around a lot.
Well, with all three of them, I'm sure, I mean, since you're going to be doing all these shows, it'll be kept up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just some of the, we're playing some of the new songs on the Ancient Evil album for Cage, and I'm just like, this song wasn't meant to be played live. Like, no human being can freaking sing this song live, dude. This is just meant to be a studio song. Like, no, dude, you got to sing this. I'm like, jeez. I mean, the Ancient Evil is just like, there's just no room to breathe. I mean, I don't ever shut up in any of those songs. There was so much of the story to tell. It's just like, the whole time I'm like going, da, 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 da. I'm like, oh man, these aren't easy, but they sound good once we get them lined up.
All right, I'm going to make you make a Sophie's Choice now. I need you to choose one song from each band to play.
Okay, Death Dealer. I like the song Seance off Hollow Ground. I wrote that one right when I saw the Penny Dreadful episode where Eva Green gets possessed at a seance, and I'm like, called up Stu, like, dude, seance, and I just came up with it. We wrote the song in 5 minutes, but I love that one. Cage, something off Ancient Evil. I would say I'd like to hear the title track, Ancient Evil, because I got the scream at the end of it. I don't even know if I could ever do it again. It's inhumanly long. It just keeps going and going and going. And then for Denner Shermann, let's do New Gods, which I think could be my favorite song off that very Lovecraftian ode to the old ones. And I really love how that chorus came out in that song. So there you have it, dude. Let's do those three.
Very, very good. You got it, my friend. And, hey, when you guys come out to Philly, I got to, look you guys up and come on out.
Absolutely, man. Let's keep in touch. Thanks for having me on the air. And CageHeavyMetal.com, CageHeavyMetal.com, DennerShermann.com, and DeathDealer.co. We couldn't get the .com for that one. They wanted $100,000 for that domain name. And we're like, you know what? We'll just do .co. That's cool. We'll keep our $100,000, and you can have those .com domains. So, and we, hit us up on Facebook. I love chatting with people and fans from all over the world, and any questions or hey, what's going on? I just love talking metal all day long with all the fans. So all you people out there listening, hit me up on Facebook. And you need to get all three Pecktober releases: Denner Shermann, Satan's Tomb, Death Dealer, Hollow Ground, and Cage, Ancient Evil. Get them on Amazon.com. It's easy. It goes everywhere. And thanks to everybody and you for the support, man. Really appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. And before I let you go, if you can just cut an ID for me. This is Sean Peck, and you can rattle off the band names, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
To Totally what?
Totally Driven Radio.
Totally Driven Radio. Hey, everybody, this is Sean Peck from Cage, Death Dealer, and Denner Shermann. You're listening to Totally Driven Radio, the best station on Earth.